Greetings, Dolphins fans. Welcome back to the Flippin Dolphins YouTube channel. And this is Flippin Tuesday. Today's topics, we will cover what happened in Sunday's Massacre. And Tua Tagovailoa is in Concussion Protocol as of yesterday. We will get into the Tua conversation right after this break. So before we get into what we want to talk about today, I would like to cover up a few bit of more pointers that I have more thoughts about from the absolute Sunday massacre that transpired that day. Before I get into a bit of deeper dives of what happened, I would like to go ahead and look at some stats here. We'll first look at Green Bay's stats since day one. Aaron Rodgers completed 24-38 of his passes, threw for 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Green Bay only rushed for 79 yards. I think we held them. The run defense did an excellent job holding the rush defense because I feel like this was their strength. But the Green Bay's passing game was elite yesterday. Allen Lazard, 5 receptions for 61 yards, no touchdowns. The only passing touchdown in the game came from Marcellus Lewis, two receptions, 32 yards, and of course the only touchdown. And of course Jaron Reed had the strip fumble on Raheem Mostert. And the defense, for the most part, well, we know what happened in the second half. We'll go ahead and look at Miami stats. Tua Tagovailoa, 16 of 25, threw for 310 yards, 1 reception, 1 touchdown, and the 3 horrendous interceptions that he threw again in the second half. Raheem Mostert, 8 carries for 45 yards. We'll get to that. You guys know how I feel about the rushing attack. The passing game was there, so I'll give Mike McDaniel credit there. Jalen Waddle, 5 receptions for 143 yards. How ridiculous is that? Excuse me. He caught the only passing touchdown in the game, which was, of course, the long 84-yard touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 4 receptions for 103 yards, no touchdowns. His longest was 52. Trent Sherfield, 2 receptions, 25 yards. Mike Gesicki, only 1 reception. It was a big play for 24 yards. Oh, I feel bad for this dude. And Durham Smythe, 1 reception, 8 yards for Raheem Mostert, two receptions, 4 yards. And Jeff Wilson, 1 reception for 3 yards. And Ella Engel was only targeted 2 times. And then the fumble on Tua Tagovailoa, the high snap, that was quickly recovered by Robert Hunt. And we'll get to Jason Sanders for a bit. Now we will get into a little deeper more into this game, alright? So, where to start? We'll go ahead and dive a little deeper into the defense because thinking about the defense, I have been giving them loads of crap. You guys know how I feel about the defense. Go look at my Buffalo post game. I gotta give props where it's due because I thought the defense did whatever they had to do. They played their butts off. Still questionable calls here and there. You gave up the touchdown that for some reason the special teams decided to squib it instead of kicking it into the end zone for a touchback, thus giving Green Bay good field position to score. But for the most part, the defense was great. The defense was great, and I'm proud of them for that, despite the shit that I gave them. And I hope we can continue this going into New England because I have a feeling we're going to need it. That D-line, let me get into Bradley Chubb, Bradley Chubb, 5 years, $110 million. And this dude only has 2.3 sacks with the Dolphins. Von Miller I've been talking with Dolphins fans, like on Discord, about Bradley Chubb and how they're saying it's a Von Miller effect. What Von Miller effect? Von Miller has 8 sacks in the season before it ended with a horrible leg injury. And Von Miller, when he was with the Rams, after he got traded out of Denver, he had 5 sacks in the season. Wherever he was, he had a profound effect on that Rams defense when they won the Super Bowl last year. There is no Von Miller effect with Bradley Chubb. And I would give you my thoughts. The moment that we traded for him, I'm like, I'm a wait and see guy. And what I saw from Chicago, I was concerned. I was very concerned about Bradley Chubb. Um, when he had no profound effect. Now, granted, it is his first game, and I believe the game against Houston where he showed out. And afterwards, I can't remember a single snap he took where I saw him put a profound effect on the defense. Yes, Jalen Phillips gets freed, Zach Sealer gets freed, Christian Wilkins gets freed. But I also would like to see Bradley Chubb as well get to the quarterback, and I only saw him get to there twice. There should be more. This is an elite pass rusher that we traded for, paying this dude $110 million for 5 years, and I feel like we got him for nothing. And I did say this in my tweet because he did say that he does want to have a dominant effect on the D line. Well, he has no predominant effect. Make the argument about double teaming him because there were moments where he wasn't double teamed. And yet he still couldn't get to the quarterback. The secondary. Let's get into Xavien Howard because this brother, they were calling him one of the best corners in the league in 2020. The dude had 10 interceptions in that season. 2 years later, he has digressed. That would be interception that he was supposed to get when Green Bay was on their own side of the field. I could not tell you the absolute blood pressure that was boiling for when he went up and had it. It was in his hands, and when he brought it in and he dropped it. The Xavien Howard of 2020 would have caught that ball. Look at the Chiefs game, that one-handed interception. The Xavien Howard of 2020 would have caught that ball. Now, when X requested a trade, obviously I was concerned because this guy was the best corner we had in a long time. And Byron keeps getting hurt, so he was the only reliable corner we had. Ever since 2020, he has digressed massively. And it's unfortunate to say he needs to get off our team. We as Dolphins fans keep giving him too many chances because we saw where he was in 2020. And I believe his prime has passed him. Another person I want to get into is Jason Sanders. The missed field goal he had, I was upset. I was very upset. And for people that are clamoring that this guy needs to get off our team, I 100% agree. He is a liability on special teams. Like, he will give you games where he is absolute Sandman, but then yet again he'll just wet the bed when it matters most. But that missed field goal I believe, and going to X's puts would be interception would not have a profound effect in the game. I still think the reason we lost that game was because of Tua. We'll get to him in a moment. But yet again, Sanders, a very a very crucial field goal attempt and shanks it to the right. Okay, now let's get to the big picture of this video. I'm gonna let Mike McDaniel say for himself
what they're capable of. And then we also placed Tua in the concussion protocol. So then on top of that, I think Robert Jones.
Yeah, Tua has returned to the concussion protocol, and I'll go ahead and play the play where he potentially got the concussion, and I think that's where it happened. Now, let me get this out of the way. There is no excuse as to why Tua threw those 3 interceptions because he had that concussion. And going to this transcript of Tua's presser after the game, he said something along the lines of, and this was when he was talking about the second interception on Raheem with when he on the second interception that was intended for Raheem Mostert, where Raheem had his back towards the field instead of the ball, and he said, phrasing, I might have said the wrong play. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's kind of along the lines of that, um, and I think there was a major cause for concern of the concussion in regards to the concussion, as they're actually being proved there is concussion. Because there are some people saying on Twitter that is absolutely mind-boggling that he's faking it. I believe he now has 2 concussions in the year. People want to say there's 3 because of the one that's on Buffalo. Why would they lie about an injury? Yeah, we've seen, I can go to basketball. The Paul Pierce fake injury where he had to go to the bathroom. The recently with DK Metcalf where he faked an injury and had to go to the bathroom. Well, I don't know if it really was faking injury because he came out and admit, I actually was being carted to the bathroom. Um, why would people think he's lying? I believe Tua's a man of his word. So is Mike McDaniel. So I don't believe they're faking this at all. I believe this is real and authentic, and I think there is proof to back that up. What he described in the presser from last night, and I believe the play where where the defender came and hugged him, and he flailed, and his head bounced against the floor. Now I want to get into something that I think is really important to talk about when talking about a human being's life, and and when you already have 2 concussions in one season. I could have never known what it would feel like to have a really bad concussion than what I saw from Tua's first concussion. That looked absolutely terrifying. His hands, were contorted, legit looked like he a spirit just ruined his body. And like how in Stranger Things, when Vecna kills his victims, absolutely just break its bones. It was kind of like that. I have never seen an injury as bad than what happened on Thursday night against Cincinnati. And what it caused now is that the NFL changed their concussion protocol. Now they have spotters, and the moment they see, and this happened with Teddy Bridgewater against the Jets, The moment they see like any sort of signs, like shaking their head, as to shaking their head, the spotter would take you out of the game, and put you in the concussion protocol anyway, even if you are fine. Now, going forward, there were other players that went into the concussion protocol, and 2 days later, they were cleared. This is unacceptable by the NFL. If Tua was in the protocol for 2 weeks, and like that's fair when you're in a concussion protocol. When you have an injury that bad, you need to make sure you are extremely healthy and make sure that your body and your brain isn't present. Man, listen, we don't know how long he's going to be out. In my opinion, he should not play this Sunday. Um, you're just putting your franchise player more at risk into potentially killing himself. Because listen, the people who are claiming for him to retire, he's not going to do that. It's up to the kid whether he wants to retire or not. And breaking news as of this recording, J.J. Watt retired. Um, and he can still play football if he wants to, but he said my time is done. That's what he said. Whether Tua will do the same after this season, that's all up to him. If he feels that family is more important than football, then he should retire. But if he wants to keep going, play football, keep beating himself, then that's the kid's choice. We, as Dolphins fans and human beings in general, cannot control a man's destiny and where he wants to go. It's the man's choice. It's what he wants to do with his life. So that'll be the end of this video. If you like what you see, please subscribe and comment down below on what you think about the Tua concussion, and give me your thoughts down below. Maybe you can give me your early predictions for the Patriots and Dolphins game. And that video will be up by the end of this week, before Sunday. And with that in mind, this is the Flippin' Dolphins signing off. Fins up.